guys, today I'm here with Leah and she's going to talk about her food of choice. So tell us what your full name is, where you're from, your culture group, and your food of choice.
Aloha, my name is Hikanali Awang. I'm from Ahui Manu Kahalu Oahu. I am Hawaiian, along with many other things, and the food that I have chosen is kalo.
What is the importance of that, or what is something that stands out for you for kalo? Did you grow up with it? Did you learn it from school?
For me, kalo has always been a part of my life. I've always eaten it. I've always snacked on it. I was introduced to it at a very young age, as a lot of Hawaiian babies are, as their first solid foods, because kalo is something that babies and people aren't allergic to, so it's okay to feed that to your baby. So I was introduced to poi and kalo and various forms of kalo as a very young baby. But as I went to school and I had been enrolled into Hawaiian immersion schools, things like farming and traditional practices were more apparent in my life. So understanding kalo, the different parts of the plant, how it's made, how it grows, how to harvest it, had always been something that I associated with school. Like, we always went to a lo'i kalo with school. Like, every Wednesday we always did our part to like farm in traditional practices to keep those things alive, so that we never forgot them as we once almost did as Hawaiian people.
So from that, is there any story that you have from that? Is there, a cultural story from that kalo pa'a?
So a lot of times in Hawaiian culture, there are lores and legends that do that are connected to the foods in our culture. So for kalo pa'a, one of the stories that I heard, and I remember hearing from like a very young age all the time, was the story of haloa nakalau kapalili, which is haloa, the leaf that blows in the wind or shakes in the wind. And that is the story of the first Hawaiians, like the Hawaiian legend of the first Hawaiians. So in very ancient times, Papa and her kane, her husband Wakea, had a daughter, and her name was Ho'ohokukalani. And later on, Wakea ended up having a baby with Ho'ohokukalani, and they had a son, and the baby did not make it through his birth, so he was planted in the ground and upgrew a kalo. And so that is why kalo will always be our kupuna, and that is why it's so important that we take care of kalo. And it was such a big chunk of what we farmed, because it nurtured us as if it was our ancestor. Because in the legend or the lore, the first Hawaiian that was born a person grew into a kalo. And so then later on, Wakea and Ho'ohokukalani had another son, and he was the first Hawaiian. He was the first human form of a Hawaiian, and he took care of his brother. He took care of what would have been the first Hawaiian in his form of a kalo. He nurtured the kalo, and then the kalo nurtured him back and gave him nutrients through his food, either the lo or the a'a, like the kalo or the leaves.
But thank you for your time. Thank you for coming. Everybody, Leah Wong.